Ahoy, it's LilBJessup. We are back with the Luigi Express go-kart. Just saying, needs some love. We did okay qualifying, did a 102 on the track. It was actually a 102.32. Not terrible, not terrible. But we can do better. A couple of hindrances were, you know, that tire never seated. My brakes are absolute crap. The gearing was terrible, and I can't steer. In order to combat that, I'm going to be putting bigger wheels on the back to make it not steer even worse. But it's okay, we're going to fix the rake of this thing. She's a little front end high. We're dropping down the tire size in the front. We're going from 11s to 10.5s, and in the back, we're going from 11s to 11.5s. It'll raise it up. We're also going to be putting a 6-inch rim in the back to get rid of those split rims. And let me tell you, these new rims are nice. These are from Go Power Sports. Gonna look sweet. They're really lightweight. We're gonna be doing disc brakes, not hydraulic, of course. Mechanical, because budget. New gearing, torque converter, a new sprocket hub, but mainly the wheels and the brakes are gonna be upgraded. In order to do that, we got to get the motor off to get to the axle so we can start pulling stuff apart. Just a little FYI, do not use a tire iron on these little Go Power Sports rims. Yes, they're very light. You can put a hole in them. I'm using some quick steel to, or some steel stick to patch my hole. But yeah, don't do that. Learn through me. I'm gonna sand that down and get that fixed. But you can actually mount these ones by hand with some WD-40. Whew. Splinters. Got the rears mounted up on the new rims, and they are looking pretty sweet. Super wide. Nice looking wheels. And I got one of the fronts done. I might have miscalculated my tire need. I miscalculated my tire need size, and we're running some super stretch. It's look like those Honda Civics you see at the mall. Perfect. We do have quite a bit of air in here to hold the bead to actually stretch the tire, so maybe it'll work. I was going through absolute hell trying to get this tire off. I did cut it, what a shame. And I could just take it apart and bam. So these are what's on there. Dunlops, they're hard as a brick. The Queen de Rubbas. There, work pretty good. So we'll rip this one apart and I'll show you what we're doing with it. Before you break apart these beads, it's best to, or before you separate the rim, it's best to break the bead. And I'm just using my little bead breaker from Harbor Freight. There's the actual mounting bolts for the hub, but there's 6 nuts in here, and then that comes off, and ta-da! And in order to keep it tubeless, this thing has a O-ring on it. It's pretty sweet, pretty trick on it. But this is the tire that was on there. It's actual Dunlop racing kart tire. And that's what we're going to. The rubber's new, so it's nice and grippy, whereas this is not. Crazy. That's it. And now we have some stretching to do. Oh yeah. Perfect. Turns out my front rims are different sizes. Huh. Didn't know that. So now I've got the back of the cart stripped down. We're going to be taking off this band brake because, you know, it's not ideal. It doesn't work the best. And placing it with a mechanical disc, which also, they don't work the best either, but it's going to be better than the band brake. And putting on a new sprocket hub, because this hub has some play in it. I'm surprised it lasted for the race day. Yeah, it's already tightened down. We're running a new Go Power Sports split hub, so I can still change the gearing on it fine. And yeah, that's what we're going to run. And also, you see that torque converter, the Amazon special, because we're on a budget here. I'm going to fight this axle to get everything off. I know it's going to be fun. Yeah, you gotta love a hydraulic press. It makes an old axle a lot easier to use. Working on the brake caliper placement. It's going to go vertical right about here and be welded to this. In order to do so, I'm using a little piece of square tubing. I just got to notch it, and I don't have a notcher, so we'll be grinding here for a little bit. Double shear because racing go-kart. So this little piece of square tubing is what I got. I'm going to tack it in, glue it on, and we should have good brakes. I might run a cable, I might run a rod for the brake rod, I'm not sure yet. So now that I have the brake tube, brace, holder, whatever you want to call it, welded in place, got some more welding I want to do. That motor, the gas tank is on top of it. And with it being on top of it, it hits back here. Yes, I could buy a smaller fuel tank, one of those like metal styles, or reroute that one, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to do some weight shifting. Take that gas tank, I'm going to mount it up here. And I'm going to run a top plate on that with some tricked out fuel line. Yeah, a little top plate and a pump. And get that nice and pumpulating. So then we have forward mounted fuel tank next to my electrical kill switch. Shouldn't be a bad thing. And that will allow weight up front. So I've got the gas tank on. Just drilled some holes in the pan and cut a small piece of angle iron. And also drilled that down and bolted it. And this thing she's solid. She's in there. And now I'm going to take some primer. We're going to touch up this guy and that little piece of angle. And then I'll go work on the motor. Gotta address it with a top plate. Figure that out. Figure out the throttle. Also, it didn't have any instructions. I've got a vacuum around in it. I should be able to figure it out. So the frame's been touched back up to where it looks good. I gotta paint this little piece of angle. And I've got the top plate on the motor, but there is something I don't like. I don't like this governor arm. I think it's time to delete the governor. Yeah, it's time. So I'm gonna pull this top plate back off, split this thing open, and delete upon it. Now everyone's motor ate a lot of dust from that race, so I'm curious what the inside of mine looks like. I'm hoping that it's, you know, just dirty oil and not like shiny oil. That would be no fun. I mean, if it's shiny, we're still gonna run it. we're gonna ride in this Predator for everything it's worth. Because all these parts I'm putting on can be taken off. Oh, we're good. That oil looks fine. The governor is out, and let me tell you, that little plastic thing was a fight, but it's out, and we're good to go. Slap this thing back together. This thing looks sweet now. The gas tank off, top plate's on, governor is out. We've got the uni filter on, the vacuum and fuel line ran. It's looking pretty cool. Kart's all painted up. Just coming along. It's 3 a.m. At the point now, do I slap it together more or do I wait till tomorrow? I do it tomorrow. Get some rest. Welcome back to another night shift in LilBJessup's garage. We've got the Luigi cart. Put the rubber on it and man, does it look good. I'm glad I went with such a wide tire. Also, to set the motor on, with the gas tank being off, we have so much adjustability to move it forward and aft. Man, this thing is just looking good. Got the gas tank just sitting up place right here. That's where it's going to live. We'll run fuel lines back to that fuel pump up there. But this thing is going to set some records, let me tell you. What I'm doing now, I've got the brake on. I'm trying to figure out where the motor plate can go. Remember, this thing is adjustable. I can slide it that way because I'm about to put a torque converter on this thing. That's right, torque converter, disc brake, big tire, no governor conversion in this video. We are going to be rocking and rolling here soon. Just using a cheap Amazon torque converter, nothing special. So let's see how she bolts up. I've got the motor and torque converter just set on there, just to get a gander at it and see what I'm having to do. Turns out I gotta drop the axle down again to flip this sprocket hub around in order for it to fit the torque converter because it is real tight clearance back here. But it's 3 a.m. I want to go to sleep, so I'm gonna do that another day. All right, we're back. So off camera, I took the axle off multiple times, swapped that sprocket around, got it to fit where I want it, and got everything back on. I plumbed the fuel tank. It's up here. I need to get it started in order to see if it'll pull fuel from there. I routed a vent line so it didn't slosh on me. And we should have a pretty solid little cart here. Torque converter's on, nice and aligned. Brakes nice and tight. I did use like a ghetto cable tie, so let's see how it works. Throttle's all rigged up. This thing should be ready to go. I'm gonna attempt to get it off these sawhorses myself without dropping it. Oh man, that thing is low to the ground. Jeez. That thing is slammed now. I love it. Oh yeah. All right. Okay. See if it'll pick up fuel on its own. Probably not. Yeah, it turns out the guy who installed my pulse pump started on backwards. Who would have thought the open Amazon box that I bought for $30 that didn't come with instructions was installed backwards? Who would have thought? Not me. Why would I expect that? I expect nothing less. So I was sucking gas out of the carb and pressurizing the tank. Now we got fuel, got oil too. So I forgoed the idea of a catch can and made this radical stack using an air compressor fitting, some leftover heater hose, 2 zip ties, and the existing PCV thing. Zip tied it to the spark plug, and now it's higher. I'm thinking because the Hemi, the vent is on the side, it just gets oil in it. Now it won't. So we'll do the right thing and vent the pressure. And that leads me to, it's time for a hot lap. I just put some fresh oil in it. It's ready.
Good. Go. What do you think you did?
103.
59.69.
59.69?
59.69.
Or faster. It picked up some time. That previously ran at 102. It's much more controllable, but the motor is not happy. Smells of burning oil.
Sure does.
Yeah, she might need to be redone. All the dust is stolen. Okay. So we ran a 56, but this motor is not happy. Yeah, it's the PCV valve it's got excessive blow-by. Rings are probably shot from all that dust. I wonder what the oil looks like. I changed it. This is the second time I've changed it now. Let's see. And it won't run longer than a complete lap. It'll do a lap, then it'll cut off. Hot. That was just changed and it's looking very gray. That's fun. Well, we picked up 3 seconds. I think I want to pick up 3 more seconds. And the track is crap today. It's absolutely wet. We've gotten a crap ton of rain, and it's far from the dust that killed it. But 3 seconds ain't bad. It handles so much better with these new wheels on. It actually steers with that little bit of weight in the front. It's nice. But we got some stuff to do to that motor. But thanks for watching. I'm LilBJessup, and we'll be back at it. Hope to see you in another video. Take it easy.